Okay. Okay. Just give me a second to, like, pull myself together, because I have just finished As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I'm giving this 6 fucking carrots. I don't care that the scale is 5 carrots. Don't care. 6 carrots for this. My heart aches. My fury burns. My brain stalls. Like, when I tell y'all that I knew that this was going to be the end, so I knew it was going to be full of fuck shit and I wasn't going to be ready for it, I knew all of this going in. What I fucking got is a whole nother story. And I promise there's not going to be any spoilers in this. I don't even know what's in the synopsis because I didn't want any spoilers for myself. So I'm just going to read the synopsis to you. You'll never think of good girls the same way again. Pip is about to head off to college, but she is still haunted by the way her last investigation ended. She's used to online death threats in the wake of her viral true crime podcast, but she can't help noticing an anonymous person who keeps asking her, who will look for you when you're the one who disappears? Soon, the threats escalate and Pip realizes that someone is following her in real life. When she starts to find connections between her stalker and a local serial killer caught 6 years ago, she wonders if maybe the wrong man is behind bars. Police refuse to act, so Pip has only one choice: find the suspect herself or be the next victim. As the deadly game plays out, Pip discovers that everything in her small town is coming full circle, and if she doesn't find the answers, this time she will be the one who disappears. Y'all, so much happened in this novel. 450, like 4, 5, 6 pages of novel. Now, on Goodreads, for some reason, it says that there's 570 pages. Don't know why. There's only 400 and some change. Y'all, the emotions this book has me in. Like, I cried. I've not cried for a book in a while. I really thought, I was like, ooh, Gabby, look at you getting in charge, like being prepared for your feelings to be however your feelings be. Don't let them catch you by surprise. This bitch caught me by surprise. I don't even have words for how good this book was. And I have to keep this under wraps for like 5 more days because the book girlies are still 6, 8 chapters from the end. And I decided that, because I was behind, and I was like, I'm not going to read it because I'm always ahead, so I'm going to be behind. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get caught up. And then I got caught up, and then it got good, and I couldn't put it down. And I read a couple more chapters, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed, but I couldn't put it down, and I wound up finishing it. So, book girlies, I'm sorry. I'm still gonna pretend like I don't know what's going on. I'm still gonna pretend like I did not read the next like 6 chapters without you. Like, I'm gonna do that for you because we real. 6 stars. Heart, romance, despair. Like, there were parts of this where I didn't like where it was going, and I really thought that it was going to be the end for my favorite characters, and I was so melancholy. I was so distraught, y'all. Literal tears, literal crying occurred while reading this novel. Like, actual anxiety while reading this novel. The stress was so real. So real. I don't want to put in any spoilers because everybody has to read this. So I'm going to read you my no spoilers review. This is the end of a trilogy. Pip's dealing with a lot. Max is trying to sue. She's still seeing Stanley's body every time she closes her eyes, being addicted to illicit drugs that help her sleep. She's also getting threatening notes and murals near her house. She realizes that there's still a serial killer free, and she plans to solve it, but she gets so much more than she bargained for. The way that is just the tip of the iceberg for this novel is fucking wild, y'all. Fucking wild. Like, when the book girlies get to the end, I'm going to have to record how we feel about it. And it's going to be spoilerific, so look out. Because I have to talk about this, all of this, with somebody, and I have to do it soon. I have to do it soon. I'm not going to be able to hold this to myself. It's so good. And my copy signed. Can you see it? Yeah, it's signed, and like, I'm so glad I got this as a signed copy. This is the best out of all 3 books. My emotions are wrecked. My heart is destroyed. I don't have any other words. 6 fucking carat. It's what, the 6th of March? Okay, so I finished this at like 3 a.m. on the 6th of March, and I am bone tired, and I'm going to bed right after this. I literally don't have any more words that I can give you about this novel without spoiling it. It's so fucking good. 6 fucking carats. Go read it immediately. Immediately. And I'll see you whenever I see you with whatever vampire book I happen to finish now. Nothing is going to fulfill this. Like, nothing will be better than this. Nothing. Distraught. Just utterly distraught. Hey guys. So today is the 8th. Today is the 8th of March. And I'm talking to you because we got to do a little bit of catch up. Was the book club girlies pick, but because they were living life, being booked and busy, we didn't finish it until a couple days ago. I wound up finishing it in like an hour overnight, and I had some thoughts, so I filmed it. But it also gave me that craving, you know, when you finish a good book of a certain genre and you want to read another one immediately. I had that craving. But of course, the theme for this month is vampires. None of the vampire books that I picked, other than like maybe Guilty Pleasures, has any kind of mystery in it. So it was going unfulfilled, right? And then I remembered that I still had a couple books from the library by Lisa Schroeder. Of course, that was so long ago, I didn't remember anything about it, so I had to start from scratch. This book was relatively quick to read. I started it Tuesday, and I finished it Wednesday afternoon. At the most, it had like 250-something pages in it. Yeah, 256 pages. So super quick read. I gave it 3 carats. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't astounding, but it did fill that like mystery craving that I had, because you know I love a good mystery or thriller. But the gist of the story is that it's prom night. Mario and Elena are going to prom, and the book opens with Mario standing over a dead body in a ditch, and then a police officer pulls up, and the book just zooms off from there. I would not call this book fast-paced. I would definitely say it's more medium, but it's very character-driven. Like, the chapters aren't chapters. They are points of view of the other characters as they interact with the police, who they think did it, gathering clues, convictions, things of that nature. I do think it was, like, interesting because it focused a lot on the main suspect being in custody, like how he felt about jail, how long it took for him to get processing, getting a like lawyer, things like that. It also focused on his family outside of that, so his best friend, his mom, getting him a lawyer, looking into people's motivations for wanting to frame him for it, different things like that. I thought it was really interesting. However, even though it did fill my mystery craving, the mystery was very lackluster. I knew who did it from like chapter 4, and there was no big twist or reveal for me. It was very A plus B equals C. Not to say that that's bad. Sometimes you just want a nice, easy, mystery. But I was hoping for a little bit more, especially with a cover like this. Gave it 3 carats. Finished it in like 4-ish hours between 2 days. Totally cool. However, this is not a vampire book. This now makes the second book of the month that I have completed that is not part of this fucking vampire themed TBR. Let me explain to you why. I am bored. I'm bored. I don't read fantasy for a reason. I don't know what I was thinking trying to make a vampire readathon. I remembered that I wanted to get books off my TBR, but these books are old. There's a reason they're still on my TBR. They're books that encompass something that I'm no longer interested in reading, which blows, because I love vampires, I love mysteries, I love thrillers, I love erotica. Like, all of the books that I chose should encompass elements of these to get me through. I am still 70% through Better Off Read by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I knew it was going to have a little of smut. What I didn't know, that it was going to be all smut and a dash of story, like a pinch, plot. Like, I'm all for sapphic sex, all for sapphic erotica, all for down and dirty for a couple of chapters. Cool. Then we get back to whatever we're doing, what have you. Even if it's all smut, usually there's still something else going on keeping me interested, what have you. I am not interested. I do not like the main character. The sorority is boring. The love interest is adorable. And although we get a lot of her, not of her, like how the main character sees and interacts with her. I'm so bored, y'all. This book should have only taken me 4 hours, 5 hours. I literally think I've been working on this book for like a week and a half. And if that is how book one is, like, I'm literally ready to DNF it. So if that's how book one is, I also have book two of the series on the TBR. And I'm like, I don't, even if I complete this one, I don't think I'm going to be able to complete two. Not happening. I don't know if I'm just not in the mood for erotica romance. Like, I don't know if it's just the like whininess of the main character. I don't know if it's just like out of date for me. Like, I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's not working. So, new plan. I'm going to finish Better Off Read because I've already started it. And I don't want to DNF because I have already planned to read it. I've already set aside time. What I'm going to do is not read book two. And I'm going to replace book two with Go Hunt Me by Kelly DeVos. It's about some girls who want to work in the film industry, and they have like a short film like festival or something, and they go to Transylvania, and it has vampires. It doesn't seem to be too long. It's only like 310 pages, so hopefully I can slide this in, get rid of Blacker Than Blue, and hopefully this will be more up my alley. But that concerns me because another book on the list, the first of the series for Carolyn Sparks, How to Marry a Billionaire Vampire or a Millionaire Vampire or whatever, I'm afraid it's going to have the same vibes. And if it's got the same vibes, what do I do then? I haven't started it yet. I might actually like it. But I think it's clear to me that in this readathon that I'm not actually into vampires as much as I thought I was, or I'm no longer into vampires as much as I thought I was, because I remember reading a lot of vampire fantasy as like a teenager, like a lot. So that's why I was so excited about this readathon. But oh my god, I want a DNF Better Off Read so bad. And I'm only like 30% away from the end. This is usually where I'm like, ooh, I'm almost done. I'm really into it. Let's go. No. I've literally started other books to stop me from reading the rest of Better Off Read. The Scrass. There's still 2 more days in this week. So hopefully I can get Better Off Read finished. I did start a few chapters of Guilty Pleasure, and I did start a few chapters of Pretty Dead by Francesca Leah Block. I do really like how Pretty Dead is written. Like, it's just so pretty. It's so, like, feminine. It's so flowery, like, the writing. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but I really like it. But, I mean, that book's not even 200 pages, so that's going to be done soon, and then what? So, I think this readathon has taught me that I don't think I'm into vampires as much as I thought I was, and I know what books are going to go to half-price books when I'm done. I think it might be time to start looking at the books that I don't enjoy in the readathons as books to unhaul from the library. Because what's the point of having books that you don't enjoy to read? But if I do wind up not liking How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire, I do have another book I can do, Reluctant Immortals by Gwendolyn Keast. And it's like a gothic novel, and it's a horror novel, but it's about vampires, and it looks at, like, Mr. Rochester and Dracula and the two women who survived them, Bertha and Lucy, who are now undead, so basically vampires. So I could read this, which is super new, 2022, so this is super new, super fresh, not written in, like, old-timey, annoying stereotypes, so it might be something that I enjoy more. It could just be that the time frame, I'm, like, out of the time frame for that book, but, like, that's an adult book, so if I don't like older adult books, like, I'm terrified of what's awaiting me in Morganville Vampires by Rachel Caine. I'm almost terrified about what I'm going to read in those and whether or not I'm going to enjoy them. I don't want to spend the rest of the month reading books that I'm not going to enjoy. Sigh. I'm like, I think almost 100 pages into Pretty Dead, and there's still 4, because there's Guilty Pleasure, so there's still 4 other vampire novels that I have to read. But the Night to Die For, I believe that makes the 13th book finished this year. Yes, 13th. So I have finished 13 books this year, so I'm doing pretty darn well. And hopefully the replacement is good, and How to Marry a Vampire is fine, so I don't have to replace it with Reluctant Immortals. But if I do have to replace it, then I know for sure that I'm not going to bother to read books 2, 3, and 4 in order to get to the one that I own, and I will just take it to half-price books or the library, or take it to someone who enjoys vampires as much as I thought I enjoyed vampires. And I did all of this without any fucking ears on. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here because now I'm super frustrated, and hopefully next week's reading is better. See you next time. This is the Ink Bunny. I'm Gabby. Hop out.